I'm talking about cipher buns, the road jumpers, hair raisers, bunners, playboys, mutants, and the punk bunnies. Let's get it. Flush, Lego.
Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we ain't. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the couch, gotta prove it. Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we ain't. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the couch, gotta prove it.
You already know I'm with them hooligans. Running through the city with my chest out. When I have not swung a little bit, they harass us, the rest us. Tired of being left out. I done been through it all, never gave up. I'ma do it all alone, who gon' save us? Trying to get it to the point they respect us, no more enslaved, but we coming for the extras. Me and my squad tired of the losing. Formulating plans, I've been out here recruiting. See them all talking, ain't nobody moving. Everybody wanna live, ain't nobody shooting. Road jumpers, hair raisers, punk bunnies, they dangerous. When I die, I'll go a martyr, we're famous. I already know what the aim is. Comfortable, carefree with the angels. We didn't take their best shot, we know what pain is. Michelangelo couldn't even paint this. My pain, this all I've gave. My heart, are you not entertained when we've came this far?
Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we ain't. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the couch, gotta prove it. Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we ain't. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the couch, gotta prove it. Say you down for the couch, gotta prove it. Or stay out the way for the movement. Carry King squad up, no capping. We out here, what's happening? Got factions, by the masses. When I test RG, we AK deep in the street with a fleet. Made a six skate, drop to his knee, but believe that's what you call anarchy. On the ride, strategize every move when we ride. Don't care what fact you from or how much dirt you done. We on the takeover, so pick a side. Ain't no more lines across, we not boundaries over. We war ready, we out, so we ain't all the smoke. Same as the bunners. Got the cyber bunches with the game. Zuckbots, we dismantle and sell a boss on the low. Playboy hustler ain't nothing, it's just a give and a go. Silly fluffer, shit up for kids, I thought y'all people should know. Hooligan, we hit if I let the mutants explode. Yeah. Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we ain't. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the couch, gotta prove it. Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we ain't. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the couch, gotta prove it.
Oh, I hope everybody can hear me okay. Team, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear, and that's what it's all about. It's Friday, feeling good. 4th of July weekend coming up. Be a first for me actually in the States, so should be interesting. We're hot off the heels of NFT NYC, which I got to say was super invigorating and just made everyone in the team even more hungry and shown us that, you know, what we've got is super special and the support and assurance we're getting is absolutely incredible. You know, our sights are set even further than before. And, you know, we don't want to be just amongst the best Web3 games. We want to be amongst the best games, full stop, period, for anybody in the States. And there's absolutely no reason that with the support from our community and partners and the drive from our team that we can't be. You know, this is all ours to play for, and we're definitely going all out. The market will not discourage us. Naysayers will not discourage us. It will only ever make us even more hungry. The concept's simple, but complex too. Make a fun game, one that isn't bound by market conditions, and the rest will all come together. And that's where our focus is. So today, you know, we're going to talk about our reflections as a team on NFT NYC. We're going to talk about alpha version 1.1, which everybody's excited about. We're going to talk about staking, and you know, let's see if we can get Colin to leak a bit of alpha today. Who we got in the house? I can't see a mysterious wizard at the table today, but who we got in the house, and how's everybody feeling?
So we have Carrot Top, Colin Brady here.
Dennis Hopper, Luke Paglia.
Got Mr. Got them. I'm West, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What up, guys?
And offsite in the secret dungeon, we have
Bumbledore coming to you from the secret Bumbledore lair, because among other things that I brought back from NFT NYC, including a lot of great feelings for all the people we met, was some COVID. So I'm hanging out here, making sure I don't share this with the rest of our esteemed team.
I'm sure you can conjure up a potion in your lair, Wizard Bumbledore, that will relieve you of all such COVID symptoms. But yeah, it sounds like you're not alone. Sounds like sounds like a lot of people suffered the same fate you did over at NFT NYC. But yo, guys, and how are you feeling off the heels of NFT NYC? Great reception, right? Give us your thoughts.
Oh, it was amazing. I think it exceeded all expectations. The best part was, of course, the community, meeting people face to face, talking to people that only now we've talked to on Discord.
Yeah.
And seeing their enthusiasm. And also, I guess we have a healthy sense of accomplishment based on a lot of the competition we've seen. We support everyone in the community, but we really felt that My Pet Hooligan really stands out. And it's not just us saying that. I think it was really clear that that our game was the most fun of any game that was played or shown there at NFT NYC.
Yeah. NYU. But definitely still a big shout out to everybody in the space that's pushing the space forward, innovating, building great quality games. There's definitely a lot of names out there. I do want to name drop some, but I'll maybe reserve it for a later part of this. But definitely shout out to everybody who's pushing the space forward. What about you, Luke? Come on, talk to us, Luke.
Oh yeah, no, it's
We got a lot of Lukes.
There's multiple Lukes, just like a lot of Kevins too. No, it was a great week. It was really informative to see kind of what's happening in the space. It was also great, despite the current market conditions, to just have everybody get together and people who are really enthused to be in the space, just to get together and hang out and to just get the feedback that that's out there. For us, we are building everything here in the studio. We're building everything here under one roof, and then we release it out to everybody, and we listen to our community. We're on Discord. But when you're actually in a new space with a whole bunch of new people who are one, seeking you out, and two, seeing you for the first time, you really get a new perspective on the product that you're building. So it was really great to be able to see that, meet a lot of new faces, see some new opportunities present themselves, and also just to really give us a lot of momentum behind what we're building, knowing that we have a quality product at its core, and that we're just going to keep doubling down and keep building this thing into stronger and stronger product for all of you guys. And we're here to deliver.
Yeah, I think for the first time, people are not defining us as a Web3 game only. It's almost like they're not just putting us in that category. Watching people walk up to the booth and start to play the game, they all were surprised at how smooth it was. And that kind of surprised me in the sense of just using that terminology, because we're so used to the game, we play it every day. But our team is they're all expert gamers, and so they're putting all the programming in that makes sure that the animations and the attacks and the weapons are all very smoothly animated. So people are starting to compare us to GTA and Crash Bandicoot and like the top Web 2 games. And so I think that was the biggest takeaway, is that we're not a Web 3 game only. We have all of the benefits of a Web 3 game, but we have all of the fun and the intrigue and the addictive quality that any of the best Web 2 games have.
Well, the topic of being the bridge between Web 2 and Web 3 was so hot at NFT NYC. Yeah, everybody talked about what's that bridge from Web 2 to Web 3? What game will that be? And we feel and we believe that we have that product. It's already a playable product. It's already here. It's a game that people can jump into and play right now today. And the only way you can join right now is through your NFT. So we are the Web 2, Web 3 bridge at the moment. I know there's other people entering the space, and a lot of great, products and projects that are out there doing that as well. But, we got a really, really solid head start, and we got a really good, game to play right now. So we're excited just to keep pushing on this thing and, learn a lot from what we were able to gather at NFT NYC.
And it's a game that's only going to get better and better. And Dumbledore, I don't even know how to pronounce Bumbledore, but Kevin, there we go, Kevin.
There we go.
How did it feel for you, having your baby out there and, loads of strangers, not necessarily strangers, but, loads of new eyes on it who don't know anything about the project, picking it up and, really having that sense of, fun and fulfillment and excitement on their faces? How did that feel?
Fantastic. It was fantastic. I love watching people play, and Colin was saying, I mean, the feel is everything. Games are tactile; they're not visual. It's one of the big things that I like try to teach new designers is, anybody can make a good looking demo, but you don't have it until you have a good feeling game, because that's the hard part. And it was so wonderful to see people play, see what they did. Like I was a lot of times, I was just watching people play and saying, and watching where they explored and what they were trying to do. I was seeing if they were having problems with stuff, like there's some rough edges they got to sand off. People love the skateboards. If there was one takeaway I took from this, it's like, oh man, we got to double down on that skateboard. That thing is just way too much fun to skate all over that city. And then and people stopping us on the street and in bars.
Yeah.
Going, hey, you're the guys who make Hooligans. That was kind of an amazing feeling,
Yeah, that was the first time that's ever happened, I think, so publicly, where you see someone from across a bar wave to you like they're an old friend, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, how do I know this person? Have I met this person before? What's their name? And all of a sudden to realize, no, it's because we're wearing these shirts. And even strangers on the streets around Times Square would say, cool shirt. And so that told us that we really are onto something special. We have an iconic character. We have an icon that people can recognize that's beyond just words. And so that was, I think, one of the biggest takeaways, to know that we're part of a community bigger than us. I never got that on working on Toy Story, by the way. And as much as I have worked on those movies, you wouldn't have that recognition in the streets that we're getting right now.
Something really special too, just to feel that love and feel that connection with people, with all of you, for the ones that were there, to be able to come up and meet members of the Carrot Gang. I think it's solidified in so many ways. One, our convictions around what we're building, and also the convictions that we have with you as a community. It was something that we felt very, very strongly, and we're here and we're fucking ready to go.
I love it. I love that energy. And Kevin, you talked about the kind of feeling you got. You've worked on some AAA games in your time. How is this feeling comparing to them? Is this more special to you?
Yeah. Obviously everybody's going to expect me to say that. But here's the truth. The big difference between this and those games that I've worked on before is that everybody's working on this thing is doing the stuff that they love. It's we pretty much just kind of gave the team carte blanche and said, okay, guys, just go make shit you think is cool. And, we make sure that it all fits together so it just doesn't turn into chaos. But it's such a difference from how we used to do stuff in the AAA space where, I've talked about this before on other AMAs, where people write an 800-page, design doc, and then you pretty much kind of expected to execute that. Not a lot was going to change from there. Where here, we're exploring, we're paying attention to what people do, and then we're figuring out what we think is, we really want this to be, as much as it can be, a community created project. And, we're not at a place yet where people can just go build stuff and put it right in. So we're doing the next best, which is pay attention to what people are doing and, respond to that. So
here's a good example. I was showing someone kind of an updated build that we had with us, and it's kind of a pre V1.1, and it had the basketball scoring working that one of our programmers put in. And I was saying, hey, someone from our community suggested that we score in the basketball courts, and the guy I was telling that to said, oh, that was my idea. I said, great, thank you, that was a great idea.
Right.
And so that was the first time talking to people that are actually the contributors of the graffiti and the ideas, and have interviewed us in the past. So that was really the best part. So we're super excited about getting to as many of these events as possible. We have a huge event coming up at the end of July in Los Angeles that's going to be much bigger. We're going to have bigger screens and more screens. And now, based on how popular this thing is, we know that we just need to show this to more and more people.
There you go. All right, and West, what are your kind of key takeaways from NFT NYC? And get deep on us, West. You like going deep?
Oh well, certainly. Okay, so despite how amazing it was to connect with so many of you and meet members of the community, from a product perspective, again, I think it really solidified and validated convictions that we had already had. But in a lot of ways, we realized the opportunity with this game, and we have since we've been building it. But more and more so, I think we all kind of crystallized in this moment. We're like, okay, we could see what this really could become when it comes to integrating Web3 not just making this a blockchain or crypto only game, but we want to make this in a way that's open to anybody who can come in, not be crypto initiated, and be able to fundamentally understand and intuitively have fun with this game.
Yeah.
If we can build that product, the value proposition, the opportunity there is so dramatic. Like we have this really cool opportunity to contribute to Web3 in a way where we can, build a kick-ass game that also happens to be Web3 integrated, but seamlessly. We want to build this product. And again, it's a tall order, but we're really excited by the proposition and the problem that we have to solve there, to be able to integrate these things to make an awesome, like one of the first real awesome Web3 games.
Yeah, it's a tall order, but I mean, what we're watching right now on our screen, it's
ready to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's already the makings of that foundation. So
Definitely.
we're excited to keep delivering this thing, and all the feedback was just incredible to be able to get it all in person. That was a big
Big time.
difference, being able to connect with people in person and have them play the game and see the reaction just right there, in person. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
People didn't want to stop playing either. That was
Yeah.
the show would be closing down at the end of the night in Palladium, and everybody else is just completely empty and they're packing up their stuff, and we're still like 7 deep, and trying to figure out, it's like, how long are they going to let people keep playing before like the Teamsters come in and just kick us out?
Good stuff. All right, well let's move on to Alpha 1.1. We made an announcement a couple of days ago that this is due by the end of July, and I leaked a bit of footage with some of the new weaponry, which I've got to say everybody's like super duper excited about. Tell us about Alpha version 1.1. When's it coming? What can we expect? And and how you're feeling about it? And what are your kind of key priorities there? I know on one hand, community excited about getting these weapons in. I know you're excited about stability and getting more players in. So talk to us about that stuff.
We're kind of divided and conquering on this one. So Carl is running buck wild on making new weapons and stuff like that, and getting a whole bunch of new gameplay stuff in, and I'm focused on the social side of this. So I mean, we've got the game part of this in, starting to feel really, really good. Now we got to get the metaverse side of it feeling really good, which means getting the ability for other players to get into this thing, getting the ability for social stuff to come in. So we're going to be working on integrating Epic Online services. We may not get that by the 1.1, but we are going to have that for the release afterwards. So at that point, then we've got player identities. We start to integrate voice chat. I mean, I'm going to consider that a success when people are hanging out in our game just to hang out instead of on the Discord. It's like, you want to play a game, great. You want to just hang out with your friends, rock on. So focus is on that stuff.
We've talked a lot about, people are really amazed when they all of a sudden realize that their face is being tracked, or if they have an iPhone near them, and they can actually animate their character with their face and with the controller. The controller is actually, once again, it was fun for us too. I think it was the first time we were actually playing for hours
with controllers,
with the controller, and kind of getting used to that, and then preferring it, and how intuitive that was. But really celebrating how great the facial animation is. So even if you don't have an iPhone, the system that Bumbledore is implementing actually allows facial animation to be communicated from one character to another. So if you don't have an iPhone, we're still going to be triggering animated faces. That's one of our greatest strengths as a studio that leans into a lot of Pixar talent, is that while people are comparing us to say, well, this is kind of like a Fortnite, or this is kind of like a GTA, the main difference is we're really the most animated of any of the Web 2 platforms out there, especially when it comes to face. So we want all of the characters to not just run around with blank expressions on their faces, but to all have some kind of animated expression, and then to tie that into gameplay. So we're really hoping by the end of July for V1.1, we will have at least characters with animated faces throughout, whether or not someone has an iPhone. So that's something really exciting. I'm really pushing the team to have kind of a dashboard cam available, showing your Hooligan, kind of like a Twitch stream, showing your Hooligan large on the screen as you're playing. Because once again, the faces are really, really fun to watch, and to really celebrate that each character is unique, has, each person playing the game has a unique personality. So whether they want to, they could always turn that camera off, but I think showing off the faces is one of the more exciting parts. And then the hall pass. we've announced, and I just thrown out there as well on Twitter, or re-announced the idea of this hall pass, which will be available for non-NFT holders. And the reason that is so important is that that's our first dipping our toe in the water of saying, how do we get non-Web3 players into the game? Now, they won't have all the benefits. They'll probably come in as a generic pink bunny of some kind, and they'll have to earn their way to earn carrots, to then start earning wearables, ways to personalize their character. But this is our first onboarding attempt. And so while publicly we said, look, I think we can handle about, let's auction off, or let's raffle off 100 hall passes. Behind the scenes, I'm telling the team, let's get a lot more than 100. Okay, privately, here's some alpha. I'm telling the team, can we get every single person who wants a hall pass? Can we get them in the game? So these are the kind of the grenades that I throw internally at the team. What's this 100 hall pass stuff? What about 1,000? Can we get more than that? And really, because when you have something you're so excited about, you want to share it with as many people as possible. So, for me, servers shouldn't be the limit of how many people we get to jump into the game. I want any 10-year-old who says, hey, I want to run around, just like a kid wants to jump into Roblox. I want anyone who wants to take a look at this game to be able to come into the game and check it out. And I think that's really the path to bridging the Web 2 to the Web 3 experience, and really making this something that's extremely family friendly. And then after a while, as you're playing as a Web 2 non-NFT character, all of a sudden you realize, oh, wait a second, I can claim some benefits as this character.
And we have a lot of thinking about that Web3 integration too for that wider rollout. So we're going to be sharing a lot of that thinking with you guys in the coming weeks. And I wanted to just mention one other thing to Colin's point about UGC and the face tracking, because, guys, you've been making amazing content with the game. We want to continue to see that, please, as we start to roll out these advancements and these new developments, especially when it comes to face animation. Keep making content. Keep showing us what you're building there. We've built this game to be cinematic. It looks beautiful in there. Make stuff. We want to see what you guys come up with. We want you to bring life to your characters and your individual NFTs. It's a huge component of this. So the content that you make and the stories that you tell in here is something we want to continue to see. So keep doing it.
Absolutely.
And it's often the kind of content creators and content that really blows games up and gets them noticed worldwide, and the streamers who really kind of help with that as well. I guess getting these hall passes out there and getting more players in, how does that help us in terms of kind of stability and ensuring we can load balance, etc., Kevin? So there is an underlying reason as to why we want to do this, right? There's quite a few underlying reasons, but talk through some of that as well.
Yeah, let's just start to stress test the servers so we can start to figure out, like, there's a couple considerations, like just how many players can a server accommodate, and still give them good performance, where you're not getting bandwidth saturation and people rubber banding everywhere, but also how many players feels right in the city. Because if we go, and the city's pretty big, there's a lot of room in Hooliland, but there's going to be a sweet spot where if you got like way too many people in there, you just kind of feel like you're in a crowd all the time. If you got too few, then you're hunting around for people to play with. So having more players in a player pool who are experiencing the game and playing it gives us a lot of information about where we need to tune this stuff to make it work right from a bandwidth and load balancing sense, but also from an aesthetic sense. So it's because what you don't want to do is test small, and then you go and open up the floodgates, and the thundering herd comes and just shit hammers your servers and everything breaks. You want to kind of scale into it and learn as you go, how you're going to keep this a good experience. Also, let's just see what people do. And, because again, we watch our players, and especially like the videos people put up. We get a lot of inspiration from all that stuff. And so the more people are playing, the more weird stuff happens, the more weird ideas we're going to grab and run with.
Yeah, amazing. And Wes, and Colin, talk to us about, why it's important that, we really kind of go out to the masses with this game, and how it's always going to be beneficial to Genesis holders as well, regardless. Wes, talk to us about that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So obviously, as we build out, so we have lots of different ideas and mechanisms that are going to provide value to Genesis holders. But fundamentally, and this is more of a sentiment on all of kind of Web3 and crypto at the moment, there's it's easy to just focus on the one vertical that we're all exposed to and we all understand. But if we know that we have an opportunity right now to really scale this game, the more and more that we can bring this out as a product that is intuitively understandable and playable by any normal person, that's only going to bring value back to the Genesis players and Genesis holders, because as we scale this game, there's only, again, that supply is not changing. You guys are the OGs. You're essentially investors in this game. You hold like a stake in this that nobody else is gonna hold. So as this game grows, so will your status in this game. And obviously we have lots of thinking about different ways to make sure that those incentives are providing value to you. But at this moment, just being a part of something that's going to be able to scale and something that's actually going to be able to bring Web3 and crypto gaming to a much wider audience. I feel like that's a strong value proposition.
All right, amazing. And Colin, what numbers do you want to hit? I'm hearing you've got a North Star. What's the North Star? Talk to
us. The North Star is I want 1 million free players in this game by the end of the year, and I think that's possible. It's going to be up to Bumbledore and the team to make sure all the servers are in place, and behind the scenes, it's quite complex what they need to do. But what's important about that is this has become kind of the new shopping mall. And especially coming out of COVID, and we're kind of always dipping into COVID here and there, as Bumbledore knows. But the shopping mall idea is super, super important. Bumbledore kind of articulated at NFT NYC in a way that I never heard it so clear before. But in these games, what makes like World of Warcraft so popular is you have achievers, you have explorers, you have killers, and then you have people that are just in it for the social space. So the social space is basically a shopping mall, and you're just hanging out. Well, when you're hanging out with somebody, what's important is the social part of it, but also like what you're wearing, what you're doing, the kind of moves you have. So we want to personalize all these moves. Someone asked us, actually, Rabbit De Niro asked me, hey, that graffiti that I put in the game, which is really well done, can I get that on my shirt? And thinking, well, why not? So, my answer is like, let's do that. That's a great idea. But that, I think, would first be the OG Hooligan holders. We would, it's not an easy lift, but it's also not too difficult either. So the idea that you can start to personalize what you're wearing with artwork that you create. But then if your artwork is really cool, should the community be able to sell that artwork they create to others? And we think absolutely yes. This is something that's not typically done in any Web2 game that I'm aware of. We're able to personalize what you're wearing, put it on the marketplace to create businesses within the rabbit hole. And ultimately, this is all under the umbrella of Interloop. Interloop is the giant shopping mall mixed with an airport. It's kind of the best of what Web3 Disneyland seems to resonate with a lot of people, because you have a main street, or you actually have a downtown Disney that's available for anybody. And then you can offer different levels of access to the entire Interloop. So the rabbit hole is basically the first version of a taste of what the Interloop's going to be. Yeah. And so, I'm encouraging the team to start adding businesses. We want to add a movie theater where you can watch a movie simultaneously with other hooligans, maybe be shooting paint at the screen as you're watching this. But what's important about a movie theater is that all of a sudden, now we have a distribution channel to our community for watching movies. And I see many of the people on the Discord channel organizing their own movie nights. We want to replicate that for real, actual movie streaming with, Mystery Science Theater style, with silhouettes of hooligans in the audience and doing their hooligan stuff. And it could be as wild as you want it to be. However, we also are listening to the community loud and clearly that they also want areas where you're not shooting at each other. So we want areas where it is a dance club and you're just hanging out and you're dancing with other hooligans. The IMI video that we shared is perhaps a little first glimpse of what that could look like, where you're just hanging out. People like watching each other dance. As
safe spaces.
Safe spaces, right? Whereas, a concert, as Bumbledore wisely mentioned in our last AMA, a concert is when you're going there to watch the people perform. A rave is you're going there to watch other people dance in front of you. So trying to articulate what's the number of people that you want to hang out with and can interact with at any one time? 5, 10? You might be at a dance floor with 100 people, but you want to just kind of move through the dance floor, hang out with people that you want to interact with. So a dance floor, a movie theater, a place to buy and sell things, a place to maybe learn things. These are spaces that we're trying to create in all the buildings that you see in the rabbit hole, which are probably like 1,000 buildings. They're all empty right now. We want to turn these into businesses and shops and have different flavors and different styles, places for people to explore. So that's what excites me the most, is really expanding on this really cool gameplay, but now getting into the social areas of this, and the personalization of your individual hooligan. And so, and then we also had a great conversation with some of our holders who came up to us, some that own a significant number of hooligans, and their interest was also very much into interloop and the idea of how they participate into the economy of what interloop is going to be, and what the tokens would look like in the interloop, and the interoperability between the different autoverses. So this is, to say this is building a Web3 Disneyland is really no exaggeration. That's exactly where we're going with this, and especially because we're focusing on interaction between people and having the highest quality of facial animation in Web 2 and Web 3.
And one of the things dovetail off on what Colin's saying here too, especially is just maybe more specifically to the rabbit hole. The more and more that we build out these, like the insides of buildings, just making the world more complex and interesting, and just trying to open up spaces for people to get creative, as Dumbledore is saying, just to get weird and come up with new cool shit. We're also obviously going to be, we're really excited about implementing core game loops and mechanics into this for players that want to kind of go on those journeys as well. And got some, again, that's something in the coming weeks and months. I'm really looking forward to seeing those implementations as well. So yeah, just in general, we're bullish. We're ready to go.
I mean, one very likely scenario would be that someone comes in as a free player, and they just come in as a pink bunny, and then after a couple of days of playing, they earn their way up to personalizing this bunny, and they have a T-shirt, and they can add one of several predetermined logos to their T-shirt. If you earn some more, maybe you can personalize this. But we anticipate there being some kind of game loop where you have a faction versus another faction, and all of a sudden it's 10 versus 10. Well, one of the factions is missing a player. Hey, new guy, you want to jump in and join us? Or we can look at your stats and see that as a new guy, you're actually really good at achieving, so many kills and so many weapons that you've mastered. Well, all of a sudden now, this new guy out of nowhere who's not an NFT holder has some kind of path to eventually an on-ramp to not just like, hey, joining with the cool kids,
right?
But also you're actually earning value and earning value in terms of tokens, in terms of carrots within the rabbit hole,
objects and items,
or objects, and all of a sudden, so this is a path really for the average kid to grind their way up to the top and play with the big boys.
It's the underdog story, and Hooli's always been an underdog, right? But Hooli is constantly grinding his way to the top. It sounds like we've got a lot of hard work ahead of us, but really exciting stuff. The one thing's clear: we need to grow. We need to get out to the masses. This isn't about being the best Web3 experience. It's about standing up against some of the titans out there. And some of these titans have years of development time and hundreds of millions of budget. But you know what? Everybody has to start somewhere. And with your support and the support of the partners we got behind us, there's absolutely no reason why we cannot achieve these, great and grand visions that we've got. And we're already out there. We're already delivering. And we're completely transparent about what we're doing and showing you and bringing you along on the journey, because ultimately, we're not designing this stuff for us. We're designing it for you. And without getting it out to you all, getting your feedback and understanding if we're going in the right direction or not with things, we're never going to get it fit for market. So all of your experience, all your time you spend with us, and all your feedback is absolutely invaluable to what we're doing. So keep it all coming. And, Genesis holders, you're always going to be looked after. And as we grow, you are going to grow with us. So just always remember that. In fact, actually, we've got something coming for you, Genesis holders. Colin, I've been seeing some stuff floating around about some companion characters that we've kept very well under wraps. So you got anything to talk to us about this?
Zuckbots.
You're gonna spill the beans. All right.
It's all about Zuckbots, and we're having more fun than we probably should be having with these things. So right now, you guys are, you see these Zuckbots chasing you around in the rabbit hole, and these are these floating Zuckbots with glowing eyes and arms that they could fight you and kill you and fight with each other. Well, we're really leaning into how much fun these things are. And it's kind of like a weird mix of like minions mixed with Star Wars droids. So behind the scenes, we've developed probably 8 or 9 different categories of Zuckbots. Well, the fun we're having is that these things are able to be personalized, and you can mix and match some parts with some some Zuckbots can mix with others.
Right, yeah.
And so
Keep an eye out for all the stuff that we continue to post out there, because more and more, is going to be leaked out there.
yeah, so we're giving hints all the time. This is one of the few times that I'm actually being encouraged to drop some alpha, and I'm probably gonna always drop too much. But
Well, there was a large bit of alpha in that Coinbase what was it, the Coinbase banner, right, where Hooli was on a motorbike, and actually there was some Zuckbots chasing Hooli, but Hooli had actually grabbed onto one and was ultimately saving the Zuckbot. So that kind of makes us think that some of these things could be good, or they hack to be good. I don't know what the story is there. I'm not sure you're going to tell us.
yeah, well, I mean, it's exactly what's going on. I mean, everything we're doing with the Hooligans, it's fun gameplay, but it also mirrors a lot what's going on in the real world, where this stuff is in many cases, a lot of the internet's been kind of manipulated or weaponized kind of against the average consumer. And a lot of what the Hoolies represent are freedom of the consumer to not be manipulated. So in the same way that we've been kind of, we've experienced it ourselves on Discord. We've been attacked by bots, and there's a lot of scams out there. Well, in the same way, we also say, well, we don't want to just allow these tools to be used by the big guys and so on. So these Zuckbots also represent not only just the bad guys, but a way to jailbreak these Zuckbots and use them as our own companions, as our own little friends to help either protect us, to help get us into places, maybe absorb some damage. And so you're already seeing in the current version, as you kill a Zuckbot, occasionally some mysterious robot parts fall out. And right now you can gather those. And
There might be something to that.
there might be some use of those parts in the future. So that's
All right. So
They-
what I'm hearing here is Zuckbots are coming to Genesis holders. I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but Genesis holders, that might be a free claim for you all. Zuckbots are coming, and they might have some in-game applicability. In fact, not might. They definitely need to have in-game applicability. So something to get excited about, and I'm definitely excited about that. I can definitely see a few bits of art behind you there, Colin. So we're not going to say any more about that, but there won't be any stealth drops or any more information coming about that by means of click this link and get your Zuckbot. So anything like that, don't click on it. Just a general note: there are a lot of security concerns that are happening in and around the space. A lot of high-profile Twitters have been hacked. Discord hacks are continually ongoing in various servers. So just always be safe. We'll always tell you well in advance what we're doing and what our plans are, and we'll never drop any unannounced mints or random raffles, etc. So, if in doubt, ask. Always take 5. Think about what you're doing. Do the due diligence. If something looks too good to be true or something looks fishy, it more than probably likely is. But anyway, that's enough about that. That's enough alpha for today, Colin. Maybe next time, but do definitely a lot to get excited about there. Let me just tell you that much, because I know a little bit more than you all know, and I'm definitely excited. So West, I know staking's going well. I know a few individuals are still having some issues with the dashboard, but talk to us about what you're doing in there.
Yeah, and I also wanted to just comment on, let's comment on the whole thing. So first and foremost, thank you all so much for your patience with the issues that we've been working through on the dashboard. I know our devs have actually made a lot of progress there, so thank you so much for your patience. Bear with us. We are going through every single ticket, making sure that everything is dialed in. Everything is working and tracking correctly. It's mostly UI issues, but that said, we're still getting through everything. So thank you for your ongoing patience with us there. That said, when it comes to staking and S-carrots, they are still going to be very important. We have activations coming for those, so continue to stake and stack those things. We're pretty excited about a couple of different things we might be giving you around those. So it's just I'm gonna not say anything else about it. But that said, it's also still very important to stake and keep stacking those S-carrots. So please do so. And we'll keep rolling on through.
Things are only going to intensify from this point onwards. That's all I've got to say. And
Exactly.
it's getting real exciting out here. All right, good stuff. So Luke, talk to us. We've got this IMI contest live right now. The 3 hooligans up for grabs for different categories. Definitely some great content being made, but we want to see more, right? So talk to us about, when's the deadline and when we're going to start judging those things.
Absolutely, yeah. Keep all the uploads coming on that stuff. I mean, everything that you guys have been posting so far has been so cool. People are taking it way further than I thought you guys would. So keep all the submissions coming. We're having a blast looking through them, yeah, we're excited to close it off. It closes on the 6th. So after this weekend, next Wednesday on the 6th, we'll close it, and then the following Wednesday on the 13th, we'll announce the winner. And again, there's 3 different categories, and within each of those categories, we'll award 1 hoolie per category. So 3 hooligans total to win. But we're excited to really keep this thing rolling. And thank you to everybody who's already participated and everybody who continues to participate. So keep them coming.
Like that rap video one. I'm not saying that's going to win, but that was pretty cool. So big shout out to whoever created that and all the effort you put into it. And really, the only limit is with IMI is your imagination. I know, Colin, you're pretty good with it. Does it take a bit of time to get used to it and get to your level? Because some of the stuff I'm seeing out there is exceptionally good. And some people are definitely on their way to learning, but it is almost just limited to your imagination. Some of the stuff that Tyler's been doing has been exceptional as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think what it is, like, the more you do, the better you get. It's like any kind of exercise or something you practice at as an athlete. You get better with each time you make a new video. So all of a sudden, there you go. They're all dancing together right now in the rabbit hole with Carl. And so, like, the more you do, the better you get. Show it to your friends, see what works. Always, brevity is the soul of wit, right? Make it fast. Keep it sharp. Keep it, if you're editing a clip, it's probably, you could actually probably cut it down half of what you think it is. I mean, we do it all the time with the sequences we do ever since in the days of Pixar. Whatever sequence we present to be put in production, you can always trim it down a little bit shorter. And so I think keeping it short and quick, there's no rules that you have to keep it under 30 seconds, but that's a pretty good guideline.
If it feels too long,
it is. Absolutely. But what's kind of fun? There's a lot of great tools that even on the phone that are good for editing. Music goes a long way. Sound goes a long way. Very clear audio. One challenge with recording out in public is that you often can get a lot of ambient noise. So good audio is really, really key. And so if you have to re-record the audio sometimes to keep it clean, or recording in a closet with a lot of clothing hanging out.
50% of the experience when you think about it.
At least, yeah. George Lucas would always say, I think even more than 50% of the experience. You're watching any classic A-list movie, probably most of the sound has been ADR'd after the fact. So, but once again, the ideas are the most important part, and you guys are coming up with some amazing ideas and amazingly original ideas. So, yes, lean into it. Lean into the fact that you can record over a previous movie that you've already recorded anywhere you like. Sometimes with IMI, if you're moving around a lot, sometimes the tracking is there's a limitation of the iPhone that tracking sometimes can lag. But once it just keep it coming. The more you make, the better you get. The more it inspires us to what to do with the tools and how to make the tools even better. So it's really, really fun for us, you guys. This is the best part. We want a community where you guys are creators. A big reason we're creating all of this stuff is that philosophically, I think Hollywood for 100 years has just been a one-way street and views people as consumers of entertainment. We want to flip that around. We want to make sure there's a giant feedback loop between the creators and the consumers, so that the line gets really blurry. We want you guys to be the creators. So that's where a lot of this stuff is going. So it's really all about you guys. So keep inspiring us.
Absolutely. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, you know what? We've got a lot of stuff coming, a lot to be excited about. We're going to get into questions, but I've just got to say, FUCK, the bear market. This is what we've got coming in the near future. We've got alpha version 1.1. We've got S-Carat activations. We've got the Zuckbots coming. We've got Expoverse. We've got an IRL event coming up. So, we're continuing to build, and big shout out to everybody else who's continuing to build. Everybody is seeing how important now product is in terms of survival, in terms of getting through these market cycles. It's all about product, and that's what we're all about. And there are other kind of, really, really solid projects out there. Big shout out to Imposters, Treeverse, Collider, everybody who's actually really building and actually has a vision and has product and who's innovating, and he's solving problems of tomorrow today. They're the ones that you got to really look for in this market. And we're definitely there. Product is important, and we definitely got a lot to deliver. But let's get on to questions. I can't always see the questions, but Wes, what can you see out there? What's coming through?
Got one IRL event. Have more information on that coming soon. But yeah, we got something coming up that we're pretty pumped about. So
we're gonna have a cool event. It's going to be in LA. We will give you prior notice to that, and there's definitely going to be an invite to some of our friends and other communities within the space to come check out what we're doing and just generally get together. Right, it's good to meet other people, who are building. It's good to meet people who are also in the NFT community, and just get a bit of a feel for what NFT NYC is also like on probably a much smaller scale, but much more intimate scale as well.
Yeah. I have a question, and I think this one will go over to Bumbledore, but for version 1.1, will we have proximity chat?
1.1 probably not. We're going to try, but basically here what we got to do is get the online services and get the voice chat in. Once voice chat is in, then yeah, the anticipation is proximity chat, friend list chat, faction chat. Global shouts we're going to see because a lot of times people abuse those, and so we want to make sure it stays a good experience for everybody. Yeah. But proximity chat especially, because I want people to be able to hang out and talk with each other. For those of you who are fairly new, by the way, all this talk about shopping malls before. Shopping malls were places people used to go to hang out with their friends and buy stuff before Amazon basically wiped all that stuff out. So yeah, we want to kind of recreate that experience of like hanging out with like physical people in the real world, like people used to do.
That's perfect.
I remember people used to play conkers and marbles. Did you ever have them in the States? Were there games out here? No? I don't know about conkers and marbles.
I don't know what conkers is, but
marbles.
Yeah, marbles. I never played games with marbles. I always just like, rolled them around on stuff and stuff like that. But like, there was some kind of game you're supposed to play with like a circle and like.
Yeah, I feel like marbles.
Never did that.
That was something else. So with this, that's like, isn't that one of those dark possession kind of games?
Probably.
But yeah, my pet hooligan's definitely going to be the marbles and conkers of the future.
You have to explain conkers to us some other time. But I do have another question that came up. What are the 3D specs for a 3D printout of my hooligan? That's a good question. Bumbledore, do you know? Do you got any insight on that one?
Let's see. In terms of how tall the hooligan is, I'd have to open up the editor and check. It's probably not smart for me to do that right
You're
now.
asking about a 3D printout. I mean, I know when we do it ourselves, and we've actually been printing out our own hooligans. Yeah. So what you do is you could take the actual FBX that you guys have is the same FBX that we use. I would encourage you. I think you need to make sure that it's at the higher smoothing level. So in Maya, you'd click 2, 3, or 4, and make sure that it's not faceted. The problem is if you export it too low resolution, you're going to get like angles on it. But the same model you have is the same model we have. So if you print that thing out, make sure you export the FBX at higher resolution. It should go right into any 3D printer. We have a wonderful printer here, and we get super high quality prints. Of course, assuming that it's posed and you may have to add your own facial expression. We didn't give you all the bells and whistles of the facial expression or the facial controls, but yeah, the quality should be just the same as anything you need as you export it as an FBX file.
I got another question here too. When merch? I've been arrested twice for walking into the store naked now this week. Yes. Yeah, sorry you've been arrested twice for being naked out in public. Merch is still coming soon. We actually had some merch that was shipped out to NFT NYC. Unfortunately, got there too late, so it didn't get deployed there. So we'll have to figure out what to do with that.
I've got an idea, Luke. How about, we've got people with a lot of K gold out there. Maybe we do a K gold claim for some of that merch.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Something we can absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah. In fact, the actual hats we had printed up actually say NFT NYC on them, so it'd be a good idea to actually make good use of those. For all the people that we met in person that we couldn't actually give them the merch, yes, we should get all of that stuff out to each and every one of you who want one.
Yeah, and if you're going out in public naked too, I can't help you there. So we'll try to get you some merch before then.
communicate with your fellow hooligans first to see if you want to have a discussion about something, make sure you're okay, and But that said, appreciate the enthusiasm.
Any other questions, pal?
Let's see what else we got. Pal? Any news on
Al.
that? So, all right. So, any other news on for plans and bringing other NFT projects into the rabbit hole? So,
Absolutely. Yes,
is always
absolutely.
something that we're working on, and I don't know how much we necessarily want to go into which projects or how we're going about it, but it is definitely something that's always being worked on and discussed and kind of communicated.
Always. Yeah. We're not going to go into that right now, but we're always working on this. Just bear that in mind, and we're going to ensure that we're only working with top quality projects.
Exactly.
And just maybe
NFT
one-
at
yeah, go
NFT
ahead.
NYC, we had a really good, week out there too, meeting with a couple of different projects and just had new opportunities presenting themselves. So, in this time of the market being what it is, people, who are here to stay are still trying to figure out what to do and how to progress. It's not as quick moving as it once was, while everybody's trying to take time to figure out what right steps to make. But there are steps being made, and it really all is to bring the best top quality projects into what we're building to bring a strong product forward for the future, for longevity. So it's not just something that's here today, gone tomorrow. So yeah, more to come.
Good stuff. All right, cool then. Does that take us to the end of the questions, West?
They're looking for more too. You guys see the sky? We can see the sky. Yes.
You can see, yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's actually a force field that's up there in the sky right now that the team put in there because some of you hooligans were escaping in the game. So we had to. Well, actually, we didn't do it. Meta Zuckbot did it, but he put a force field in there, so you're now locked into the game.
There you go. You are now locked in, and you can no longer escape. That's a bit harsh, actually. All these bunnies wanted to do was escape. Now we're keeping them locked in. I'm sure you'll soon find your way out again. But anyway, let's wrap this one out. I think it's been a great conversation, actually. Very, very insightful. I think everyone's super hungry, everyone's super focused, super invigorated on the back of NFT NYC. The vision is clear. There's a lot of hard work and a lot of problem solving that's going to go into it, but we're going to get there. Thankfully we've got a strong community, we've got a strong team, and the world is our oyster, right? Somebody's got to do it, so it might as well be us. So all guns blazing right now. Let's keep going, team, and let's keep delivering. So big shout out to the community, big shout out to our focus group mods. Big shout out to all the builders out there. We're not the only builders out there. We're obviously one of the best, but there are other good builders out there too. Big shout out to all of those of you who are braving those harsh seas, and a big F you to all the scammers. Get well soon, Dumbledore. And any final words from the team?
From my real quick, just thank you everybody. Thanks for everybody who came out to NFT NYC. It was great to see everybody. We have the event coming up in July, Expoverse, so come out and see us there. We'll have some more stuff to give away there. We'll have a better booth set up at this one, and excited to share that. But as always, thanks for all the love and appreciation and support you guys all show. We appreciate you all back. So
Yeah, you guys are the team. I mean,
exactly.
Any holder is a shareholder in our community, and you guys have a big voice. And especially when you reach out to us personally, I mean, your voice then gets magnified, and we listen to every one of your comments, and it's really no lie. And so we are going to make it together. This bear market, I think, kind of needed to happen eventually. And to be really blunt, it's a great opportunity for us to really show that we have something different. Up to now, people view utility as what kind of free stuff do I get? But we're giving actual tools. We have an app, we have a game. All of these things are tying together to increase your visibility and your creativity and
Exactly.
hopefully increase your worth financially. So all of these things are tying together, and the bear market's been really, really a needed thing, and it's actually really good for our community. So hang in there. I think there's nothing but good things to come, and blue skies ahead. So thank you guys very, very much. And then please come out to LA and meet us in person. And hopefully some of you can even visit the studio and check us out.
That's all, folks, for today. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you all off there, but we've got some stuff to attend to. So that's all, folks, today. Thank you, everybody, and we'll be back with you hopefully in a fortnight.
There we go.
Peace.
Thank you guys.
Thanks everybody.